SJ, welcome to Muscogee Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar.
In a program specific area. So it's been really exciting to learn a little bit about, what our employees experience, creating a new program, standing up new operations, and creating procedures that additional staff can follow. So that's kind of the work that I've been doing. That's how I'm engaged in the American Rescue Plan Act funding, and are really a result of learning opportunities from that 2020 program. So we did the distribution last year to folks who met a certain income amount or who had experienced unemployment, that income and hardship program, where we did just under $100 million distribution to tribal citizens. So this year, we're basically doubling that load, and we have just as many staff as we had last year. And so one of the challenges, or one of the things that we learned in the 2020 programming, was that our internal capacity to provide direct distributions was not sufficient. So writing checks, doing ACHs, those were all manual processes for the nation. And, I think we learned a lot about how we might be able to automate some of those things. We just really weren't prepared to do that for this program. And so we sought out a third-party vendor. What's happening, kind of how the process works, is the vendor, we order cards from the vendor, and then because they are backed by a national bank, they're required under federal regulations to run what's called a security check, a customer identification program is what they call it, CIP. And so when they run that security check, sometimes the challenges that we experience with citizens are, their names have changed since they enrolled with us. They got married, or they've been divorced, and now, their last name is different, or they've made a legal name change for whatever reason. So the name that we gave to NetSpend is no longer their name that's recognized, by the federal government or by the IRS. And so some of those challenges. The other thing that we see a lot is citizens misenter their social security number, and so then then things don't match, right? And so when there's a mismatch, we have to provide additional documentation to be able to illustrate that you are who you say you are. Gary Fife's here. I see him in person. This is him. His photo matches. And so we're working with a third-party vendor to do that. And once those are cleared or approved, that security is approved, then we make payments, and that really protects the citizen. So we're not just distributing funds to a person who may not be you. We've caught a lot of fraud in that process. And so after the security is approved, we make the payment. Sometimes that security process takes longer than we would like, right? So we order the card, they immediately start production and ship it to you, but sometimes it takes longer for your security to clear. So that's the delay.
Now, when we say card, we're talking about something similar to a credit card.
Yep, it's a MasterCard debit card.
Yeah, it's like what do we call gift card?
Yep, it's very similar to a gift card.
Now, we mentioned some situations where people were not quite forthright, and in other words, they were lying and cheating. What kind of, can you give me an example of what you might have seen or dealt with already?
Yeah, so, one of the things that we learned during the income and hardship program is that we have a lot of kids who can be claimed by two parents, right? And so when we had a paper process in 2020, often we didn't catch those until it was too late. We had made payment or something like that. And so one of the things that we see the most often is, one parent's trying to, or both parents are trying to claim the same dependents. And so the system that we have now flags those applications for us. And so we don't process them for payment until we discern who legally, has the opportunity to claim this benefit on behalf of the dependent. So that's a common one that we see, that will leave an application kind of in an in review status for a long time, because we're trying to sort out, what's happening, and that always gets kind of interesting, right? No one really wants to disclose their family situation, and it's a tough conversation for our staff to have. We don't want to be prying, but we also want to make sure that everyone's being treated fairly. The other thing that we experienced, which I really was not prepared for, I don't think, or didn't imagine, maybe I'm a little naive, was the number of folks who have been separated. Maybe they were together, they shared accounts, they know a lot about each other, they have enough information, and we've caught quite a few folks, trying to apply on behalf of a Creek citizen because they used to be together. And then how that happens really is because they call in, the person calls in, or they try to file an application online, and it's like, you already have an application, you already have a portal account. And they're like, what do you mean? I've never done this before. And so then, we have to chat with them and kind of untangle that situation. And so it leaves people, really in a terrible situation.
Yeah, that red flag comes up.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, we've talked about some of the problem there that you have to deal with, but let's take a second to find out who is eligible. What do you have to have, or how do you qualify for help?
Yeah, so the quickest way is to, use your personal information to create a Camp House Portal account. So you're going to register for the Camp House Portal by going to www.muscogenation.com/login. Or if you just go to the main page, there's a big button. Click the button on the Camp House Portal. You'll see the black logo. It'll take you straight to the page. You can register for the portal. Once you've registered for the portal and provided your information, you can then apply for direct assistance, or there's actually 2 other applications on the portal right now. There's a vaccine incentive for citizens, and there's the emergency rental assistance program. And so you can apply for any of those programs. Specifically for the direct assistance application, all you need to have is your full social security number and a roll number. So if you were enrolled prior to September 30th, you're eligible for direct assistance, and we're able to accept those applications from you. If you have dependents, make sure if you have dependents and you create your Camp House Portal profile, those are household members, right? So you're listing them in your household. They're not always transferred to the application automatically. So when you're completing your application, make sure you're reviewing it closely and that all of your dependents are listed on that application before you submit. That seemed to be a challenge on the first day, so we have a lot of applications that came through on that first day without their dependents attached. And so people are like, I got my card, but I didn't get all my money. And it's like, well, according to the application, we didn't know you had dependents. And so that's really one of the challenges that we're experiencing. But all you got to be is a citizen. We ask you to fill out a few questions. Let us know kind of what your experience has been during the pandemic, and some information about your household. So as we plan future American Rescue Plan Act programming, we'll know a little bit about how you can receive funds and how we can better support you, depending on how markets change in the future.
Is there a set amount that you would dispense to people who qualify? I mean, $1,500 or $2,000, or does it depend on family size and that kind of thing?
Nope. So it's $2,000 per person. The value of an application does sometimes dictate how you receive funding. So for households that have 5 or more citizens within the household, we tend to make those payments via ACHs. Because those are really large transfers, they have to go through a special process in the banking system. So banking worlds have their own rules, And so for those households that are going to have an application that's valued at $12,000 or more because of the number of dependents listed on the application, we process those as a direct ACH. We've had fewer than 100 of those processed. So those are few and far between compared to the number of applications that we've received.
So Bank First has been pretty busy then.
Bank of Oklahoma.
Bank of Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm sure there are people out there who would still have questions. And the information you share, which is a lot of information, believe me, and may not have a clear feel or view of what's going on. You have staff people who can help them kind of work through that process?
Yeah, so we, the first place I would refer you to is the website. We have a website that has over 50 frequently asked questions. So I feel like we tried to do the best we could in trying to answer or resolve some of these concerns. So check there first, because I know the call line is really full. And sometimes it's a challenge to get through, long waits. And that's really because, we we have the same staff that's answering phones are the staff who's trying to help process applications. So we're trying to rotate staff and help people get through the queue, but it is a long wait. So if you can go to the website, take a look there, see if your question's on there first. Don't spend your time on the phone. If you really need to talk to someone, the best way to get to us is 918-549-2885. That's the ARPA hotline. We do our best to answer those in a timely manner. We have added staff in the last 10 days, but the queue call is really high, and so we know that's frustrating. We do have an email that's available, but response times are not where we would like them to be. So the best course of action is to give us a call or check the website.
Yeah, I can testify to the fact that some people are a little disconcerted about that wait time.
Sure.
I guess I contact, last few minutes we have, if someone wants to get a process started or just wants more information, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, the best way is to call the ARPA hotline, the 918-549-2885. We're responding to emails, so there's the Camp House support email that you could, if you're having trouble logging in or utilizing the portal, that's the best email to send messages to. And then there's the ARPA Direct Assistance email that's listed on the website. It's a long one. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. But you can email that inbox, and there are folks that are trying to respond to that as well.
All right. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate you making time. I know you've got to be busy. And you and your crew are hanging in there. 49,000, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Well, anyway, we're going to move on here. And so once again, thank you for taking time to come down and explain what that program is all about. So thank you, Tara Brinson. We'll talk to you again, I'm sure.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a short pause here and be back with more Muscogee Radio, and I'll be ready to play then. So hang on here and share this important message with you.
Hello everyone, I'm Angela King with the Stroke Prevention Program. With the support of the Southern Plains Tribal Health Board and Muscogee Nation, we want to help Native Americans in our community lower their risk for stroke and heart disease. 80% of strokes are preventable just by reducing health-related risk factors. If you are interested in how to reduce your risks, please contact me at 539-299-1530. Again, that number is 539-299-1530.
Okay, we have the Halloween season here. You can overdose on pumpkins fairly easy, I'd say. And we weren't sure, I guess, looking at it, how this was going to be celebrated or observed. The tribe did have a function here just over this past weekend and had several contests for citizens to participate for prizes and just have fun and that kind of thing. Our managing editor, Liz Gray, took out one of our recording decks and picked up some wonderful sound from the events, and we'd kind of like to share that with you. So please, here's Liz Gray's Halloween party.
Stories. You know, when I was growing up, again, around my grandparents lived in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, out there in the country. And my grandfather, you know, he was known as Geethla, you know, and anyway, you know, he'd tell you stories about where we got our medicines from, you know, especially certain herbs and remedies, you know, and he always talked about that Bigfoot, that Stajopko, you know, and the medicines that they gave us, you know, for healing and whatnot. You know, and he always said that he talked to him and communicated with him, and he would bring things to his home. You know, and as a little kid, you know, we'd go out there and stay during the summer times. And me and a few of my younger relatives, we were out there staying the night, and he lived way out in the country. And he had an outhouse instead of an indoor restroom, one of those old school homes. And anyway, one of my younger cousins had to go use the restroom, and he woke us up and said, he had to go to the restroom. We knew that outhouse was down a long path from the house. Anyway, to make a long story short, we walked, and we took a lantern out there to the Muscogee. And anyway, he went in to the outhouse, and me and his brother stood outside the outhouse talking. About that time, we were sitting there, just talking about different things. Star Wars was big back then, so we were talking about all kinds of Star Wars stuff. And anyway, out of nowhere, the air got quiet, got a funny vibe. All the animals in the woods stopped. No crickets, no noise whatsoever. It was quiet, it was eerie quiet. And we both noticed that. We looked at each other, and about that time we heard something big and heavy walking through those woods. We could hear it breaking tree limbs, and we could hear those heavy footsteps and deep breathing. We looked at each other, and we knew it was getting closer. So we heard it, it wasn't too far from us. And we went running into that outhouse with our other cousin. He was using the bathroom. We turned off that lantern, and we sat there. And we looked at each other, and we heard that big thing walk right by that outhouse. In my grandpa's home, his home was down there by that Canadian River. And there was a long field that he walked past. We could hear him. And by the time 10 minutes went by, it seemed like forever. He finally walked by, and we could hear something down in that river, crossing that water. And when it stopped, all the animals started making noise again. And as soon as we heard that, we booked off. We ran like nobody's business back to the house. We got back in and told my mother about it. And, again, she said, you know what your grandpa said about those things. You don't bother him, you respect him. He might have came by and gave something. Something that someone really needed. And again, that was my story of Bigfoot. So anyway, if anybody else has a story, I'm going to open the mic. If you have a story, I know you came a long ways, come out here. I'll ask you to come on down and tell a story. Any takers? Going once. Going twice. Come on down. Don't be afraid. Come share with us. That's what we're here for tonight. Any takers?
Then my dad, he was from Eufaula, Oklahoma, and he told a few things about Bigfoot. He said, Bigfoot, he can whistle. It'll whistle at you sometimes, when you're way out in the country. He said he'll whistle at you, or he can even throw rocks at you. And they always say they can't catch Bigfoot. So they can't catch him, but I always heard that he can travel from dimension to dimension. That's why they can't catch him. And he can disappear, things like that. That's why they can't catch him, Then even one of my late cousins, he was a light horseman. He said they got calls all the time about Bigfoot sightings here close around Muscogee. Then the name the Creeks gave it is Stichupko. That's what they call Bigfoot, Stichupko. Then out there at the church I go out Big Casita out there on Prairie Bell Road. We got our own ghost light out there. There's a red light you can see all the time. I think my brother was telling me he's seen it. It's red. He said that thing just kind of floats in the air. And a lot of people seen it, you know. The late Susie Mundy, she used to see it all the time because she lived right near Casita Church. She used to see it all the time. Then we even had our old stomp ground over there. And my cousin, she lived right now she lives about a half a mile from that old stomp ground. She said you can still hear them stomp dancing. And just different things like that. What I heard, you know, from my parents, my dad, and I just wanted to tell you a few things. And I think my sister here's got a story or two. I'll let her talk now.
When I was working over here at Creek Nation, we were way in the back. It wasn't remodeled or nothing. Used to work in the election board way in the back. And at that time, we had to prepare everything ourselves. We had to type up the absentee request forms, the envelopes, and stuff them and everything. We had them all on a table. Everything spread out, ready to go. We were going to sit in there and stuff them. There was 3 of us, but there was going to be 2 more coming to help us. And I was in my office, secretary was outside, brought her office, and the other one was over here. And anyway, we said, well, we better get ready to do this. And we all stood up, and about that time, all of those papers went flying off as if somebody pushed it. And I knew they did because there was always something bothering us back there. And then the people that moved back there after we moved to the front, I asked them, do things bother y'all back there? And they said, how do you know? I said, because it always bothered us back there. I guess they wanted our vote. No. And also another one more. About 2 years ago, my husband and I went to Shakota at the casino, and it was late, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't go through Hitchita. I went through Midway. Anyway, come out of Midway, and I was driving. He fell asleep, and I seen something. It set up real high, and I said, boy, that's a big dog. But my husband didn't hear me. He was asleep. And then I passed it a little bit, and I looked over there again. And yeah, it was just setting up. Looked like on its butt, on its hind legs, just setting up and watching me go down the road. And boy, I sped up. And then about 2 weeks ago, my cousin told us about her husband seeing one. And she described it to me, and boy, my eyes got big, and I said, that's what I seen. I said, boy, I hope I don't have to ever see it again. Thank you.
My name is Taylor Fields. I belong to the Bear Clan. So this story happened to me about 2 years ago. My grandma, I was staying at my grandma's for a little bit, and she had a surprise for me, and it was a porcelain doll. So I just fell in love with the doll, but she said, be careful with that doll, because you might break it. So I was like, okay. And then I just loved that doll. I even made it a bed out of a box. And then we went out to go eat, and then after that we went to the thrift store, and then all of a sudden I just had like a vision of something happening to my doll. So I was like, Grandma, we need to go back to your house because I need to check on my doll. And then when we got back, I ran to my doll, and then its eyes were cracked, and I was like, Grandma, its eyes are cracked. And then I looked back at the doll, and then its eyes were just black and gone. And then we got terrified, and yeah, that's just my story.
Let's give her another round of applause. You know, I asked someone to come up and speak Muscogee. She answered that call.
Okay, my name is Lahoma, and I was, I am an elder. Most of these things, these three little stories I'm going to tell you happened when I was a kid. And maybe I was a mean kid, I don't know. Maybe that's why these things happened to me, I don't know. But a couple of them happened in this area, around the Arbica area. And then one happened in our home, and we lived in the Oklahoma City area. But each one happened when I was like 7, 8, and 9 years old. But the first one was after my grandpa died. He was a big-time stomp dancer. He was a leader. He lived out there around Arbica, just south of Sonora Cemetery, and before you get to the Arbica Stomp Grounds, way out in the country. So after Grandpa died, for whatever reason, the three girls, myself and my two sisters, were spending the night, spending some time with my grandmother. And we liked being out in the country, but not so much when it got dark, because she had no electricity, and it got really dark out there. You can hear all kinds of sounds. The two girls, my younger and older sister, they slept on the floor on pallets. And it was in the summertime, August 1960. I slept with Grandma on the bed. And Grandma had a tendency to get up in the middle of the night and smoke cigarettes. And I had heard a noise outside, and then I thought, oh, that's coyotes. Kind of went back to sleep. And then when I heard another noise, I reached over to see if my grandma was still in bed, because I was getting kind of scared. And my sisters were just sleeping. They were just snoring away. But Grandma wasn't there. But then I realized she got to go smoke a cigarette. And then she came back to bed, and I heard another noise. I heard that front door, that screen door open, and I could hear these feet shuffling from the front room to the kitchen. And then turned around, went back out. And I was so scared, I just covered my head and slept for as long as I could till the next day. And Grandma never said a word, but she didn't speak English, but she didn't say anything to me about anything. She just acted like it was a normal day. So when my dad showed back up that day, I told him, I said, Daddy, I heard something last night. I said, it was really scary, and the other girls didn't hear it, and Grandma didn't seem to be bothered. I said, I heard the screen door open. I heard these shuffling feet go to the kitchen and then turn around and go back out. I said, what was that? I said, I was scared. I covered my head. I didn't want to look. And he says, there's your grandpa. I said, can't be my grandpa. He's gone. And he says, no, Homa. They call me Homa. He says, Homa, that's just one of our things. He says, that's your grandpa's spirit. And he said Grandma most likely had some food set out on the table for him in the dining room. And he just came to eat his dinner.
Witches Laugh Contest. Going once. Going twice. Okay, contest is closed. We got our contestants right here. And we're going to call this young man, going to ask his name and his age.
My name's Jaron Richardson. I'm 8 years old.
God, he don't even remember where he's from, man. All right. All right. You ready? You ready for it? All right. Look at that Give us your best laugh. Dang, that was eerie. Hey. Go to the end. You gotta stay up here. All right, our next contestant. Tell us your name.
Kitty Lawson, Okmulgee.
All right, Bulldogs, make some noise. Yeah, that scared me. All right, go to the end. All right, our next one.
Emma, Okima,
Okima, let's make some noise if you're from Okima. All right. Good one. Go to the end.
Sean from Tulsa.
All right, Sean from Tulsa. Let's hear it. Damn, that was good. That made my hair raise right there, man. All right, come on down. Tell us your name, where you from.
I'm Scintilla and I'm from Okima.
All right, Okima, make some noise.
This is my Indian witch.
Man, that sounds like an auntie laugh. All right, name and where you from.
Monica. Bristow, DP.
Sounds good to me. All right, let's hear it. That was a good one. That's a good one. We got some good contestants here.
That was her real laugh.
Oh, was it? Name and where you from.
Lusanda Jahojifka dos, Oklahoma City, Amalegada dos.
All right, that was a good one. Good one. All right, name and where you from.
Taylor Field, and I'm from Oklahoma City.
Dang, these got some good ones. Let's make some noise for her.
I'm Miley and I'm from
Yeah, let's give a round of applause. All right, name and where you from. Dang, that's a good one.
Mary Walters from Okima.
All right, let's hear it. Gosh, boy, y'all should have felt that breath. That right there would have been winner. Right there. Wow. All right. I'm going to call Siobhan up here. Where's she at? Siobhan Hill, the queen of witches. Have our, you guys go ahead and sit down. We got our three. They're going to contest to see who wins. So I'm going to ask my three contestants that are up here, stand right here. Right here. Come up a little bit closer. Stand side by side. Stay right there. Okay. You guys ready? I'm gonna have you do it again. Because this is for the winner. All right, first one, go. Gosh, it was gunshot on that first go round. All right, let's do it again. All right. if you think this one won. How about this one? This one? All right, Siobhan, did you pick the winner? All right, the middle one won. All right, you guys shake hands. And what was your name again?
Oh, awesome. Sean Davis from
Tulsa. Let's give her a round of applause. And the rest of our contestants that came up, Muddo! Good calling contest. That sounds like the Muscogee after Taco Bell. Wow. All right. Everybody that wants to compete tonight, come line up here. Bigfoot calling contest. You got the example. Come on down if you want to try it out. Got one young man. Anybody else? Come on down if you want to try this Bigfoot calling contest. Come on down. Come on, we've got to have some brave ones out there.
I'm Jason, I'm from Muscogee, Oklahoma.
All right, let's hear it. All right. Next contestant. Your name and where you're from.
I am Brunson and I'm from Mvskoke.
All right, let's hear it. All right, let's give him a round of applause. That sounds like Wild Man right there. Come on down.
Have fun with it.
All right, let's hear it. All right, let's give him a round of applause. That sounds like Littlefoot. Littlefoot right there. Cousin right there. Cousin like that. All right, name where you from?
Tulsa.
Your name's Tulsa?
It's Torrance. I'm from Tulsa.
All right, let's hear it. All right, let's give him a round of applause. Good job. Very good to do. Dang, I know she's going to win this one. She's got to. She's been telling stories, singing songs, making fried bread, everything tonight. Let's hear your name. Where you from?
My name is Laylee and I'm from Oklahoma.
Okay, let's hear it. Dang, that must be one of them female foods. Y'all already know. Name where you from?
PJ Thompson from Winkle, Oklahoma.
All right, let's hear it. Yeah. Let's give him a round of applause. That sure enough sound like the Muscogee. After senior salsa. All right, name and where you from?
Julian Harjo from Muscogee, Oklahoma.
All right, let's hear it. Man, let's give him a round of applause for that one. That was a good one. Good one. All right, Mr. Sasquatch himself coming up. Name and where you from?
Timmer Hicks from Muscogee.
All right, Mvskoke, make some noise. wanting to dance after that one. Yeah. All right, name, where you from?
Tyner, Tulsa.
All right, Littlefoot. If you think Littlefoot won, make some noise. All right, next one. If you think he won, make some noise. If you think he won, make some noise. All right, next. If you think he won, make some noise. All right, Mvskoke. I want to hear y'all make some noise. Yaki, yaki. Ready? If you think he won, make some noise.
He don't beat the Bigfoot at his own game.
God. She said that's what it sounded like right there, so she knows. God. If you think she won, make some noise. Go to the end. All right, do we have our... All right, you guys shake hands and go ahead and have a seat. We thank you for coming out and contesting. Make some noise for these guys. All right, my 3 contestants, come here. Right here. Face that. Okay, we got them lined up. Littlefoot, Middlefoot, and Bigfoot. Ah, man. All right, you guys know what to do. We'll give you another chance. Make your call, and we'll ask the public to judge. Go ahead and call it again. Woo! Let's make some noise for him. Dang, got one answered back over there. Ah. All right, next one. All right. Now you've heard them 3. Now let's see who's the winner is. This one, if you think he won, make some noise. If you think Middlefoot won, make some noise. If you think the real Bigfoot won his own contest, make some noise. All right, we got our winner. You guys shake hands. And everybody make some noise for him. We'll see our Siobhan Hill.
Okay, a lot of Muscogee people having a lot of fun there with the Halloween contest. The last few minutes here, we've got some announcements, and Morgan Taylor's here to assist me here.
It's Jay, everyone.
First of all, we have an invitation from the College of Muscogee Nation. They are looking for 2 security officers, and if you're interested, it's 918-549-2800.
All right, so next Thursday there is a medication take back event. November 4th, like I said, next Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology. So please take your unused or expired medications.
Okay. The Muscogee Times and the local law enforcement are looking for some help here to find a young lady named Amelia, 16 years old, last seen at ConocoPhillips in Dewar. She was seen with a tall blonde guy, bought some gas and a honey bun. So if you have any information, contact the Henrietta Police Department or Muscogee County Sheriff's Office.
All right, so on November 5th, the Sapulpa Creek Indian Community Veterans Program will take place. Please register by Monday, November 1st if you want to participate in that. Call Tammy at 918-859-3255.
Coming up on Saturday, the 13th of November, the Eufaula Community Center is having a Native Arts and Crafts and Indian taco sale. So you can do some Christmas shopping and grab lunch while you're there. So if you're interested, you want to contact John Tiger, 918-850-3806.
The Tulsa VFW Post 577 presents the Vietnam Moving Wall November 4th through the 7th. This will be at the Veterans Park in Tulsa, and the remembrance ceremony will happen November 6th at 2 p.m. It is open to the public.
Let's do what we can to support our veterans.
Yes.
Native Arts Fair coming up Saturday, November 13th at the Eufaula Community Center. Those are some busy folks down there. Lots of stuff going on. That's from 9 to 4, and plus an Indian taco sale from 11 to 2. So that's carry-out only. So if you're interested in purchasing or other participation, get a hold of the Eufaula Area Arts Council and see what you can do there.
The Muscogee Nation is holding their Veterans Day celebration on Thursday, November 11th. There's an open house for the Veterans Building here on the campus at 8 o'clock to 9:15. Recognition of Muscogee veterans will start at 9:30. There will be a 21-gun salute starting at 10 a.m. by the Honor Guard.
Okay, lots of activities there for you to participate as we head into the holiday season. And just a word of support. We had Mr. Grover Wind in here last week. He's the new director for the Veterans Affairs Association, and he dropped off these announcements today, hand delivered. So he's got a lot of energy and feeling for his new position and what he's doing there. Okay, well, let's wrap this up and head out here. You ready to go home?
I'm ready to go. I'm getting hungry, I think, guys.
I know, all these taco sales.
I know, might go down to Eufaula real quick.
Okay, bring me one too. All right, thank you for listening. This is Muskogee Radio, Gary Fife saying, Mado Mabo Hedgetsked. You've been listening to Muskogee Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.